legends or stories that I believe are of interest. I will begin with a shorter example for my first video, and in time, hopefully, I will move on to more complex and interesting stories. Let us begin. Many years ago, yet not long enough to predate the modern world, there was a secret war, a conflict whose outcome would decide the fate of humanity itself. Though contrary to what we typically define as warfare, this conflict was between only two people. The cause of the conflict, however, was brought about by the actions of many. Both sides fought for what they believed was the best result for mankind, but neither side was willing to accept the other. On one side fought a servant, a miserable beast whose hands were stained with the blood of countless men. This servant had committed so many atrocities under the orders of his master that his body and soul had become corrupted and inhuman. However, despite the horrible sadness and guilt that plagued his increasingly monstrous existence, he never once let go of the belief that his actions were for a greater good. This servant represented the will of an elder god whose influence upon the world brought about only fear and death. Yet the god acted out of love for mankind, for it knew that it had to commit such evil in order to keep the world in balance and preserve the human species. Still, being in such a position made the god suffer in remorse and solitude. It knew that mankind would never appreciate it for what it did, never understand it for why it brought about the death of so many innocents. When the servant first encountered the god, he immediately recognized its kindness and its suffering. He vowed to devote himself to the god's will, to other side of the conflict was a hunter, a man who prided himself in his ability to find and destroy the demons that plague humanity. Over time, he developed a reputation as the antithesis to these horrors. As his ego grew, he came to view himself as untouchable. He believed that he could face and defeat anything, even a god. The day eventually came that he decided to kill the most deadly monster of them all, the elder god under whom the servant acted. The hunter sought out the god through his victims and soon picked up a trail. However, in tracking the god, he instead came upon the servant. Unfortunately, the hunter discovered that the servant was once a close friend, a man whom he trusted more than most. The shock of finding that his friend